Greetings, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me to sit underneath the wisdom tree. I hope everyone's day is going well. I just wanted to hop on and speak real quick about some things that I've been reminded of in the last few days as I've been pondering all that this past season, this summer, has brought me. And I find that I start to get real reflective as any major change happens. And as you all know, we're getting ready to cross over into fall. The fall equinox is officially happening tomorrow, which is the 23rd of September. And, fall, autumn, as it's all also referred to, it's really a season of energy conservation. Um, Fall starts to bring us into a space of really going within and just kind of reviewing our lives, where we are currently, and calls us to sort of, reset the decks of our lives to see what we want to continue giving energy to going forward. And especially if we're coming into more of a season of conservation of our energy, it's always precious. Our energy is always precious. But then if we're coming to a space where we're conserving energy and are even preparing to be more still as we go into winter in a couple of months after this, it's important to really consider what we want to continue to invest in. And actually, the energy right now is very, very supportive of this. A few weeks ago, we had, I think, 7 planets all retrograde. And if you know anything about astrology, a planet being retrograde just means that it's pretty much asleep. So it's not emoting its energy and what it contributes to the overall energies, which affects us all and affects our planet. I think only 2 have gone direct or woken up, which has been Venus and Mercury. And if you know anything about astrology, you know that when a planet goes direct, it's, I think, still in the shadow of its retrograde for about 2 weeks after, which means it's just kind of slowly waking up, kind of like when any of us wakes up from our nightly sleep. We're yawning, we're stretching. We don't just usually leap out of bed and start going at 100 miles per hour. So please also excuse the outdoor noise. Anyhow, going back to the planets, we still have, I want to say, 5 planets in retrograde, which is still lending to a bit of a slowness energetically for all of us. And so that's lending to this period of just deep introspection for us, an opportunity to do some deep purging. I don't know about you guys, but I have had some real purging moments over the last couple weeks, and they have been very tough, but very, very necessary, very needed. It's like cleaning out your closet, getting the old stuff out, cleaning out clutter from your home, spring cleaning of sorts. I've been experiencing some major perspective shifts and some deep healing. I'm not sure if you can relate, but I have literally had memories that have been in the recesses of my mind, just repressed, and not even necessarily really terrible things, but just memories from childhood and early adulthood that have just come back out of nowhere, that are helping me to understand why I've been holding certain patterns in my life. And it's been very liberating. It's not been easy at times. Of course, it brings you into all the feels, but it has been very necessary in bringing me into a deeper space of healing myself and understanding myself. And like I said, it's shifting my perspective and shifting the way I do life. It's been a very rewarding time. But as well, these kinds of seasons call us into deep self-care and love and support. We can't just face this stuff without supporting ourselves. A lot of it is deeply emotional. And when you start having those repressed memories come up, things can get real sticky. So I just want to encourage us all to utilize these energies and really take the opportunity that's been gifted to us to do this inner work, because it's setting us up to go into our next season. Harvest is coming. We've been planting seeds as well. For the whole of our lives, we've been planting seeds. So, harvest season is upon us. It's coming. And I think that's also why we're being given or gifted this time of just more rest and more reflection, and a chance to kind of make room in our energetic space to receive when the harvest is ripe and ready. One of the things I really wanted to talk about, which has really been heavy on my heart, is just the importance of taking time to check in with yourself regularly. And it's so important. It's so important to take time to check in. And one of the reasons is because whether we realize it or not, even on this healing path, there are still patterns and wounds and things that are not yet recognized, that have not yet been healed and released in our energetic fields. And so we can get so busy in the doing of life, and a lot of the doing of our lives are still stemming from those patterns that have been, grounded in us since probably even from the womb, because we carry so much energy over from our parents even. If you think about the aspect of pregnancy, a child is being literally created in a bubble of water, a womb of water, and water is emotion. So everything that we are picking up from those waters and being in our mother's wombs come from our parents, come from the emotions that our mom is experiencing as she's carrying us and making us in her body. If she's, in a toxic relationship or going through a really stressful time, that's all translating to us through the waters of the womb. That's a conversation to go into deeper on another day. But what I really want to come back around to is just talking about how we're so in kind of a program state, that we do life from that state and we don't even realize it. And one of the things that I had come to me in the last couple days is I ended a almost 5-year relationship earlier this year, a couple months ago, and I had just a memory come back to me about that relationship, which prompted me to just kind of sit back and realize that the energy that particular person was bringing to me from the start, it's not even anything that I'm attracted to. And I know that I've seen the same pattern within a lot of my relationships, even before this last one. It has a lot to do with my own, I guess, people pleasing. I learned that as a as a way in childhood to, I guess, survive in my household. Um, I'm the oldest. I was the oldest of my household, oldest child, and a lot of that, or what that means rather, um, requires that we really just sell ourselves out, please our parents, work to please our siblings. We're the second mom and second dad to the household in a lot of ways. We learn to self-sacrifice. We learn to stifle our feelings. We learn to shoulder the responsibility and burden of our parents' emotional wellness. We feel responsible in a lot of ways, and that's just lightly scratching the surface. But I have been in such a energy of doing, of saving people, of being the responsible one, of taking care of others, that when the last relationship I was in presented itself, I got busy doing what I always do: saving, helping, aiding, sacrificing myself, not being honest with my own emotions, not checking in with myself, just attaching to a, I guess, goal, and just forging forward no matter what it felt like, no matter how much it hurt, no matter how toxic it was for me. I just kept pushing forward, trying to make it work through being responsible for both myself and my ex-partner, until it almost broke me. And I understand that that's what was needed to finally help me to see what I hadn't been willing to look at and what I had been missing. So I like I said, that's one of the things I give thanks for. It was probably one of the most challenging relationships that I've ever had, but it really taught me a lot, and it helped me to break a generational cycle in the areas of relationships that I have seen the women in particular in my family repeat. And I myself, of course, learned it from my predecessors, from the matriarchs. But thankfully, I have and am continuing to heal that. So my point with that is, if I had been more conscious and self-aware in checking in with myself throughout that relationship, I would not have got lost in the doing, and I would not have been out of touch with how much that experience was draining me and robbing me of joy, of creativity, of happiness, of my own natural essence of just love. I mean, not that I ever stopped being a loving person, but just not able to love freely in the way that I like to love, because there was so much about that relationship that I knew was not safe. So I had to hold back in a lot of ways and guard my heart and protect myself. It was quite a paradox. But anyhow, Yeah, it's important for us to check in with ourselves, and especially going into a new season and going into anything new, but even in the things that are older and more familiar, to continue to check in, to make sure that what we're doing and what we're connected to, the people, places, and things, that they are still an energetic match for us, and that they're energetically reciprocating back what we put out. That is so important. It's so important to take your temperature, your own spiritual temperature, to make sure that you're in alignment. Because if you aren't, after a time, the universe will come in and lovingly bring a tower moment. And that's a tarot reference for those who are knowledgeable of tarot. But they will bring a tower moment or a change that we might not necessarily be ready for or be really open to. And it will really hit us hard. But all of this is done out of love, and because the universe knows that we've asked for certain things, we have certain desires, we have certain purposes. After a while, if we're not able to make those changes, or if we're still not able to see what we need to see, the assistance will come in. And it's, like I said, it's all from love. Nothing ever comes to hurt us or destroy us. It may feel like it, but it's all to guide us on our path to greater happiness, to greater purpose, to fulfillment. Our life here is supposed to be happy. We're supposed to have a good life. We're not supposed to struggle and be stressed and drained and sick and poor and just run down and ragged. That's despite what we've seen our family members and our friends do, and it's despite what society, thankfully, that concept and that illusion is breaking down now, but that's not what we're meant to do here. We're not meant to do that. So anyways, yes, we definitely need to be in the habit of checking in with ourselves on a consistent basis. And the reflection piece is important too, because it's important to really give ourselves just credit and love and appreciation for how much our life has changed, even in the last 3 months since the summer began, as we're standing on the precipice of a new season. Like, to really sit back and to look at all of the hurdles that we've cleared, all the demons that we've faced, all the healing that we've done, all the grace and the provision and the love and the opportunities and the aha moments, all the beauty, all the mornings we've woken up despite what's going on in our lives. There's a lot to be thankful for. It's not always easy, but the universe has our back. And we who come here, I am very convinced, honestly, that we, the beings that sign up to incarnate as humans in this life, that we're warriors, because there's nothing about this human existence that is a cakewalk. This is definitely a school, and there's lots of learning that happens, lots of lessons that come forth, and they are definitely not easy. And it takes a warrior spirit to face yourself, to face the reality about even the things that we've been through. And some of the people closest to us, mom and daddy and grandmama and them, they weren't always right. And they didn't always do right by us. And, there's a reason for that. But to even be able to acknowledge that and work through that energetically, that takes guts. That is not easy, and it takes a warrior spirit to do these things. So, in closing, I just want to encourage everyone to really take time to center into yourself and into your journey. Check in with yourself, give gratitude to yourself, to the universe, for how far you've come. It's so important to recognize that. It's another thing that being busy in the doing distracts us from, is to really take stock of how far we've come. That's so important. And I just want to send everyone blessings and love and best and highest vibrational wishes as you cross over into your new season. Every season, let us intend that it will be better than the season that preceded it as we move from strength to strength. Until next time, take care and be well.